Hello everyone, this is ALEEEEEEESA and we have a 2v2 to look at today. This is none other than ALEEEEEEESA playing as the Red Terran here and being good-mannered, wishing his opponents good luck, have fun, and his ally is going to be none other than BrokenRythm playing as the Blue Terran. And some of you may recognize BrokenRythm from some of the videos I've done in the past, or even possibly some of ALEEEEEESA's videos, or you may even recognize him from the top 200 list that Blizzard releases occasionally of the top 200 players in North America, because he's almost always on that list. And most recently, I believe he was number 15. So very, very strong player. They are playing against two Zerg players here, HaRyChEs or HaRyChEs or something like that. I'm just going to call him Harry because that's easier. And then Wannabecool. These guys are both Zerg, and it looks like a very early pull going down here. Pull going down on 8. No pull yet for his ally HaRyChEs. But one thing to note on this map, and if you've played any 2v2s, you're of course aware of this, there is a very long distance to travel between the two bases. You got to go all the way through the middle, down through this valley, up the ramp on the other side, and then in between the two bases there is a large ramp going into each of the allies' bases there. So a lot of ground to cover, and the ramps are pretty large, so it can be rather difficult to defend early on. And BrokenRythm is not going to be walling off, so if these Zerglings go to his base, he may be in a decent amount of trouble here. ALEEEEEESA, however, as you can see, getting his supply depot and his first barracks up at the wall, so he is going to be able to wall in relatively quickly. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get a wall up before these Zerglings make it down there, because as you can see, there are already 6 Zerglings about to hatch. And if we look at the overlay here, we can see first 4 out, and here come the next 2. Looking at his ally, the Teal Zerg, he is just now getting an extract drop, hasn't built any Zerglings yet. He's got his pool, and he is actually droning up a little bit here, right at about 16. And it looks like the first 6 Zerglings going to move out. So some serious cheese, and ALEEEEEESA is going to spot the pool. I'm not sure, I didn't see if he actually crossed the path of the Zerglings, but he is aware that there is some cheese en route into his base. And it looks like he is going to get a barracks up just in time to wall off against these Zerglings, and there is one Marine out to defend against this. So this 6 pull has been, 8 pull rather, has been effectively negated for ALEEEEESA, although unfortunately for BrokenRythm, as I noted earlier, he did not wall off, so he is going to be a lot more susceptible. Although making a very smart SimCity here, he is actually putting up another barracks to kind of create a C-shaped concave here, as you can see, which will help protect him from the Zerglings a little bit. But losing that supply depot is going to put him in the red, so he is going to have a pretty hard time getting any more Marines out to defend, and losing a few SCVs there, so he is able to produce more. And one of his Marines going down, both Marines going down. There is another one out right now though, and only one Zergling remaining, so it looks like they have effectively held off this early push. You can see how good ALEEEEESA and Broken are, that they're able to prepare for this, although they definitely did have the map size in their favor, because like I said, that is a long distance to travel by ground, which makes rushes like this a lot less potent, especially when one of the opponents can get a wall up, as we did see ALEEEEESA do here as well. But it looks like the Teal Zerg is going for Roachborn, just now finishing. Neither player has expanded yet on the Zerg team, so they are not going to have a super strong economy just yet. And actually, we're going to take a look at the income right now. We can see that there are 18 harvesters for ALEEEEESA right now. His ally, BrokenRythm, at 13 still, despite losing some when he was holding off that attack. Our purple Zerg here, only at 14 right now, so just 1 ahead of BrokenRythm. And of course, BrokenRythm, with the ability to call down mules, is actually going to have a stronger income. And then Harry is actually getting his Baneling nest up. He only has 15 drones, so it looks like he's not replacing the drones actually as he's building these buildings. And as you can see, he does not have very solid saturation on here right now at all. Only 12 drones on this base, and that is going to be a very, very scary thing with all of these Marines moving up, because he is going to have trouble getting enough resources in order to hold this off. Although, as we did see a little bit ago, he's getting his Baneling nest up and running, and as is his ally, Wannabecool. So with this pretty much straight Marine forces, we can see all these units streaming across. Pretty much only Marines and a few SCVs in the mix coming as well are going to be the only units here. So Baneling's very, very potent against that if you can get him within range. However, one thing to note is that Stim Pack allows you to kite Banelings pretty effectively although they do not have it researched as of yet, and it looks like that spine crawler is going to hold with 4 HP. Unfortunately, Broken getting a little bit too ambitious with this first group of Marines there. He would have actually been able to do more damage had he waited for the rest of the Marines from the group, and for some reason the SCV's moving up in there without the support of ALEEEEEEESA's Marines, and it looks like all those SCVs are going to be taken out. Here come the Zerglings from Harry, and he is not going to be able to take out all these Marines, but there are some Banelings being morphed right now. It looks like 4 just finished with another 4 Zerglings from Wannabecool, and if we look over at his ally, there are still a decent amount of Zerglings here. We can see Zergling speed is almost finished for Harry, and his ally Wannabecool has not even started researching him yet, trying to drone up a little bit, as we did just see a group of drones hatch right out of his base there, and they're going to mine. Meanwhile, there is a pretty decent force of Marines starting to gather up here for ALEEEEEESA. He's got roughly 15 Marines here right now, and more streaming down as we speak. So there are going to be a good amount of Marines here, but he is definitely going to need to be careful about these Banelings. Now 8 Banelings on the map. Oh my goodness, and those Banelings getting dangerously close. Oh, the first one taking out a large amount of Marines, and then the Zerglings coming to help up, and they're going to clean up that Marine force from ALEEEEEESA. No problems, easy peasy. And meanwhile, it looks like BrokenRythm and ALEEEEEESA just going to continue with this unrelenting pressure from strictly Marines. Meanwhile, BrokenRythm actually getting up a command center at his expansion, so they apparently just want to continue this straight up pressure. And as we can see, the layer tech now going down for Wannabecool. It is already up and running for Harry, but Harry does not have any kind of layer tech such as Spire or anything going. He is researching Baneling speed, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for these Marines to minimize damage, because that Baneling speed just reduces the amount of time that you have to micro against them, split your Marines up, and minimize damage. So it's going to be a lot more difficult once that finishes, although they do have Stimpack up and running now, so that is definitely going to help. But it looks like both teams are pretty much sticking with this one-dimensional play. Strictly Zerglings and Banelings from our Zerg players, and Marines only from our Terran players. So definitely a very, very high pressure, high octane game. These guys are just pounding away at each other, and it looks like we're going to see another attack soon, as we see a bunch of Marines massing up here at the front, and ALEEEEEESA starting to move in there right now. Going back to ALEEEEEESA's base, we can see that he does have another orbital command up, getting a factory, getting a starport, and an engineering bay going up as well, so he can probably get some turrets and maybe the +1 upgrade. Of course, they are aware that since they have not touched Zerg for a little bit now, that it's possible they may be going for Mutatech, in which point getting some turrets up in their mineral line is going to help tremendously in keeping those Mutalisks from completely dominating their mineral line. And it looks like there are a pretty good amount of Banelings between our 2 Zerg players here now, and the Baneling speed now done for Harry. It looks like it is just about finished for Wannabecool, so they're going to have a pretty potent force here. And ALEEEEEESA and Broken trying to spread out their Marines as much as possible, but there are